David the Good. Welcome back.
Look!
So I'm standing here in the middle of my gardens, or soon to be gardens. The last couple of days I've been very busy getting this cleaned up and debushing and digging. Lots and lots and lots of digging. I got up this morning so excited that I got to dig. So I dug all the way down here. The first one that I showed you guys last time with the double digging, this one's double dug. The rest of them I used the meadow creature and just went down and then shaped the beds because I just didn't want to double dig anymore. Maybe I enjoy it for a little while, but I actually broke my spade too, which didn't help. So you can see over here I've got a fire. This is a fire. The reason I'm burning this is some of those tall trees that we took out when we first got here, and some of you guys are like, no, don't cut the trees down. I'm like, I have to cut the trees down. I need a house and I need gardens. I don't need some weird, stupid rainforest. I need gardens in a house. So that's me burning the rainforest right there. Look at that. That's called permaculture, in case you didn't know. And the reason I'm burning this right here is because I want those ashes, actually. They've dried out, they've been sitting, there's a big pile of stuff there underneath the vines. It's still there, there's hunks of log and everything jammed back there. All that stuff, most of it is gonna get burned for ashes. And the reason I'm concentrating on the ashes is I need to feed some banana plants. Bananas love their potassium. And I also need some ashes for my garden beds. So I just went ahead and started throwing all these old logs in there and letting them burn down. And for those of you who ask me why I don't do hugelkultur, I just don't like it. I don't really want to dig big trenches and haul logs and bury them in. I just don't want to do it. I want a production garden and I want to be able to do it in a few days. I don't want to do all this digging big holes and burying logs stuff. You guys can do that. I just don't feel like it. Besides, this is kind of cool. This is a compost pile here, or compost piles. It's a 3-bin system. This is our central artery, and I marked this off. This is 4 foot here to here, 4 foot wide path coming off of the edge of here and over to here, and then the 4 foot wide path goes straight right down through the middle, and then whoosh, comes right back here, and that's a mandarin tree right back there, and so that's actually the end of our property, another 30 feet from where I'm standing. So I've got a lemon tree here. I've got this great big shade tree right here, which I'm going to leave, and I really like it. I think it's nice to have a little bit of shade towards the back, but there's a whole bunch of bush and rocks and junk around it, so in coming months we'll probably clear that bit by bit and see what happens. But if I can walk right through the middle of here, then what I can do is all down this space here. As you can see, this is all nice flat ground. It's almost like Florida, except the soil's better. So I can take these beds and just extend them right to the central artery of the path, which is why I got out here. I cut some pieces of rebar, hammered them in the ground. I don't even like to bother with wood stakes. You know, just go ahead and get yourself some rebar. It's cheap. Buy some rebar, get an angle grinder and cut it. Cut it into like 3 foot sections or 2 foot sections or whatever, and then use it to mark everything. So my beds are 4 foot, then 2 foot paths, then a 4 foot bed, then a 2 foot path, all the way through this entire area. And this will come out to, I calculated it at around 2,000 square foot of annual garden space, which is a good sized garden. It's not an awesome sized garden, but it's a good sized garden. And then around the edges of it, we will have fruit trees and perennial vegetables and hedgerows and coffee down here in the back. So just to kind of get a visual idea, I ran strings and dragged Rachel out here to take a look at what I was doing and got her input, which was basically, I don't know, you just put it where you want to. I think I hear the baby crying, bye. So I I appreciate that kind of input because it kind of gives me the, okay, I can do this. I have a woman who believes in me. You know, it's important. But there we go. That's what we got to show you today. These were the yam beds over here and cassava beds. We didn't get a lot of cassava out of them, and we've got some yams, but not a lot of yams. What I did was I took a lot of the canes of the cassava here, a few different varieties, and I'm going to plant them out again. But this time, since we're here, we're going to be able to keep it all weeded. Since I'm switching this thing over to all mounded, dug beds, I'm getting rid of these two raised beds. We actually made these out of scrap wood when my wife couldn't stand it. She's like, let's just make some garden beds or something. And I said, well, we could throw some cardboard down and dump some dirt over here and make a few beds. So these two here we put in, and this is actually 3 foot in between. I'm switching everything to 2 foot because I figured out there's about 60 feet from here to the end. And that's about, it's 60 square feet of gardening space. So if I go down to 2 feet from 3 feet, that means I actually gain about a 5-gallon bucket worth of green beans every year. So that's, like, if you figure out how much space that is, it's actually quite a bit of space. It's a 6 by 10 garden bed. So I'm going to take these out and just convert them to regular mounded beds. I don't like the wood borders because they're a pain to weed around unless you're going to run a string trimmer. You can't really hoe around them very easily, and they're just clunky. I don't want clunky. It looks weird because I'm going to make giant 60-foot long beds, you know? So I'm just going to yank these out. And I'm going to turn around and put them somewhere else. Let's see. I think I'll flip it from the side. I'd do this without crushing any of the crops on the inside. That would make sense, huh?
Yeah.
You want to lift the other end for me? You want to get down there? Can you lift that part? Push it. There you go. Push it over. Good job. Good job. Thank you. So we'll just take this out and we'll stick it somewhere else. Maybe up next to the house or something. But completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary, and I don't like it. And it's actually funny, you see the color of the soil in here and in these is much more red than the soil over here. I don't know if you can tell that on camera, or if I'm imagining it, but it's more red. The kids already took these and replanted them. I could tell the kids planted them because there's actually spider lilies, wild spider lilies planted in the middle of this, and that's not an edible. But my kids just like to pick stuff up and plant interesting things. If they like it, they plant it. And I do think mixing up different species inside your garden is a good idea, so why not? Woo! So now, the problem is, this is 3 feet. So what I'm gonna have to do is take a slice off this side and put it right in here. So I'll just slice it and stick it in there, but you don't have to watch me do all that. You'll see it in an upcoming video. Once we get this system going, probably be able to take care of it in 10 to 15 minutes a day. It's no big deal once you get started and finish all the digging and the planting. And as I do that, of course, I'll bring you along with me. So thanks for watching. I hope you're excited. I'm excited. Some of you guys got to wait for spring. I don't have to wait for spring. I do have the dry season coming, so we're going to have to cope with that soon. But when it comes, it comes. But until then, until next time, may your thumbs always be green.
George, turn around and let down. Grabbing that thing, drop it down,